Hello everyone and welcome to the SC Battlegrounds. This is ACHAI Kaya and we're going to be taking a look at a ZvZ matchup right now. And actually I'm going to show off a little bit of my new functionality from the overlay application, which you can see at the top here. But introducing the player in the bottom left here, playing as the purple Zerg, this is going to be none other than ppgButtercup, showing up there, playing on Xel Naga Caverns, and he is going to be facing off now against a Zerg player who is actually in the top 200. I'm not sure if they're currently in there, but when this game was played, they were actually in the top 100. I can't remember their exact rating right now, but this is going to be the red Zerg known as Xog, and he is going to be playing against ppgButtercup in this game right now. And this is actually a custom game. This was not played on the ladder. And just to give you guys a little bit of background, this is actually something that spawned out of a little bit of a rage argument between these two players. ppgButtercup and some of his buddies were playing against just some random people in this custom map called Star Battle. I don't know if you guys have played it before, but it's kind of fun custom map. Good times, having some fun. If you want to break from playing some serious gameage, that's always a good option. But apparently there was some serious smack talking going down between these two teams, and the ppgButtercup's team was saying, you guys are no good. The only reason you're good at Star Battle is because you're not any good at ladder and 1v1s and all that nonsense. So, and ppgButtercup, shortly after challenging him to a 1v1, leaves the Star Battle game and goes and finds out that, oh, by the way, Xog is top 200. So this is a game which ppgButtercup, if you guys did not know, if you don't follow the team PPG at all, he is not top 200. He's a very solid Zerg player, but he is not top 200 and has not really done anything significant as far as winning tournaments or anything like that. So he a relatively unknown player for the most part, facing off against somebody who has actually made a small name for themselves in the StarCraft 2 community. But it looks like both players on this map are going to go ahead and fast expand and try to play a more economic minded game. And it looks like Buttercup continuing to scout here, going to see the spawning pool timing, and of course knowing that his opponent does indeed have a fast hatchery up, although it looks like Xog has not yet scouted. You can see by the minimap here, he's not yet scouted that Buttercup is putting up his own hatchery. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see if that comes into play a little bit later on, possibly going to be playing kind of defensively, trying to D up against some kind of an early push if he assumes that there is indeed not an expansion down there and is expecting some very, very early speedling, baneling aggression possibly. We'll see exactly how he decides to react to that. But it looks like Xog going to go ahead and transfer some drones over to his newly finished expansion. And there is an Overlord in the base of ppgButtercup from Xog here, although it looks like this Overlord is going to see the drone transfer. So despite the fact that he still has not scouted the actual hatchery, he is indeed going to know that there's an expansion up. And actually right now, both players pretty much doing mirror builds, as we can see here, both getting their speed for their Zerglings immediately, as well as the Queens, of course. And then the only difference right now is that there is 6 Zerglings coming out for Buttercup. So Buttercup apparently wants to get the transition into a little bit of Zergling pressure there. More likely going to be using it for scouting. Of course, that first drone does not usually stay alive for a whole heck of a lot of time because once you get the queen out and the spawning pulls up, you get Zerglings. It's very difficult to actually keep the drone on the map in your opponent's base. But it looks like the reason for the later Zerglings for Xog is because he is going for a Roach Warren. So he is actually going to go ahead and tech up a little bit more, and we're going to see if ppgButtercup here can do a little bit of harassment or possibly even scout that Roach Warren. And it looks like Buttercup coming in here, losing the first Zergling. Oh no, and getting us around. It looks like Xog is going to go ahead and take out this first assault here and managing to get that Roach Warren up pretty quickly, although it looks like the Roach Warren for ppgButtercup is going to be a little bit slower, but he is indeed going to get his Roach Warren up as well. And at this point we can see nobody has gone for layer tech yet. Both players satisfied sitting on hatchery tech, going to use pretty much banelings, speedlings, and roaches, although we do not see a banelings nest down for either player yet actually. And I'm sorry, as soon as I say that, of course, it looks like Xog is going to go ahead and put down his lair. But meanwhile, it looks like we're going to see some aggression from Xog here. Now the speed upgrade is finished for both players. Speedlings coming in, and there are just way more speedlings for Xog. He is going to take out all the speedlings for Buttercup, and then Buttercup going to lose a lot of drones here, it looks like. But here comes the roaches to help defend. The drones even having to get in the mix here as well, and it looks like this will be cleaned up. But if we look at the units lost, oops, sorry, wrong one. Units lost tab here, we can see that there is about 250 more resources and units lost for Buttercup as opposed to Xog. Xog now also getting his own roach production going, so he is of course going to switch in that as well. On the map right now, we can see that there is a few more roaches for Xog than there is for Buttercup right now, so slightly behind in that. The drone count very even, actually just now evening up at 26 of 26 for both players, although it looks like the layer is already up for Xog, and I do not believe we have a layer for ppgButtercup yet. Yeah, he does not have his layer, so a very, very significant tech advantage for Xog right now. If he goes for Hydras to mix in with the roaches, that will obviously be a great idea. Also, getting a Spire up can be quite deadly, although of course if you go Spire tech, you have to be very careful that you don't just get overrun with speedlings, because of course speedlings, if you see somebody going for the Mutalisks before they can actually get out a significant amount to stop speedlings, you can just counter with a ton of speedlings. But there are a decent amount of roaches here, so it looks like those roaches will actually be able to keep the base pretty safe. In Zerg versus Zerg, you know, a really delicate matchup. It's not one of these matchups that you have, you know, limitless options. You know, obviously squeezing as many drones in wherever at all humanly possible is very, very important, because losing a slight economic advantage can absolutely make the difference between winning and losing a game. And it looks like we are actually going to see a battle here, possibly a lot more roaches right now in this mix for Xog, and it looks like here comes the speedlings. Oh, a bunch more speedlings and a few more roaches for Buttercup, and he's going to try to push up in here and do some damage, and Xog having to back off here, already losing all of his speedlings, and the speedlings for Buttercup going to tank a decent amount of damage while these roaches deal some serious damage. But here comes some reinforcement roaches going to jump in the mix here, and it looks like he will be able to once again hold Buttercup off. Although no, here comes a ton more speedlings just rallying up into the base, and it looks like all of these roaches are going to be cleaned up. A lot of those roaches down on the right going to just get surrounded by those speedlings, and now Buttercup is actually in a very, very strong position here, continuing to pressure on the front. More roaches popping out, but there's just not enough, and with constant speedlings being just rallied into this base from Buttercup, it looks like Xog may be in some serious trouble right now. It looks like Xog is going to research Burrow, which once he gets Burrow up and running, he will be able to you know, burrow those roaches, let them heal up very quickly, and with no layer tech for Buttercup right now, he is not going to be able to take those roaches down, so that could be a big problem for him. But no, it looks like Xog is actually going to GG before that happens. A very interesting game. ppgButtercup actually managing to take down one of the top 200 players in a ZvZ matchup. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. It took me a little bit longer to get this game up than I wanted it to, so I apologize for the delay, but I definitely appreciate all you guys out there who are subscribing and viewing the games. Of course, if you guys are enjoying these videos, make sure to click on that like button, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below, and I am going to get out of here, guys. Oh, actually, by the way, I just want to mention, if anybody's watching this and is actually using the AlphaCaster application, I did want to say I'm working on an update right now that I'm hoping to get out this weekend. I can't make any promises, trying to clean up a few little bugs here and tighten up some of the functionality, so definitely keep an eye out for that. I'm actually going to post a completely new tutorial video on how to use the app, because I had to change a ton of the layout stuff for the settings panel, and of course added a bunch of functionality as well. So just keep an eye out for that. I will like I said, I will hopefully have that up this weekend. If not, it will definitely be sometime this coming week, I promise you. And thanks to everybody who has provided feedback and been supportive of that particular application, because it's been a little bit of a passion project